Hello, my name is Fox and you're watching Den of Fools. Let's jump right in. In week 27 of 2024 we had 94 tournaments with a total of 1,694 players and 5,689 games played. We have a lot less tournaments than last week, with nearly half the number of games and over 1,000 less players. This will have the biggest effect on the placings, as there are a lot less wins to go around. With that said, this week the Space Marines topped the charts with 12 wins and 46 top 3 placings. Their weighted place is 27.2, and they have the most big tournament wins with 7. They get less than half the wins and top 3s they got last time, which is due to the reduced number of tournaments, as their weighted placing is very similar. The Necrons come next with 11 wins, 26 top 3s and a weighted placing of 9.7, the second best overall. This is a big improvement on the weighted placing of 22 they got last week. The Tyrannies get 7 wins, 17 top 3s, and a weighted placing of 11.7. This is a very big improvement on the 38.2 they got last time. They got the same number of wins, but with less tournaments. There were less players giving them a much better weighted placing. Tower are the last faction in blue with 7 wins, 15 top 3s and a weighted placing of 13.4, which is a good result for them. Imperial Knights and the Leagues of Votan top the green group, both getting 6 wins and 15 top 3s. They have weighted places of 13.2 and 7.8 respectively. This gives the Votan the best weighted placing this week, which is slightly surprising, considering they didn't even get a win last time. Chaos Demons come next with 5 wins, 17 top 3s and a weighted placing of 14.8. Guard also get 5 wins, but a lot less top 3s with 9, and a slightly better weighted placing with 14.4. The Orcs get 4 wins, 14 top 3s, and a weighted placing of 22, showing they're not quite as good as they were, but still doing reasonably well. The Grey Knights are also not picking up as many events as they were, with 4 wins, 12 top 3s and a weighted placing of 16.3. The Thousand Sons also get 4 wins with 10 top 3s, and the third best weighted place with 11.5. Admech have a much better week, with 4 wins, 8 top 3s, and a weighted placing of 12.8. Chaos Knights are the last faction in green, again with 4 wins, but with 6 top 3s, and a weighted placing of 14. All the factions in yellow have 3 or 1 win, with the Sisters and Chaos Space Marines topping the group, with 3 wins and 12 top 3s. They have weighted places of 26 and 40.7 respectively. World Eaters and Eldari also get 3 wins, with the Eldar getting the best weighted placing in yellow with 18.3. Custodians, Death Guard and Drukhari get a single win, which gives them high weighted placings. The Gene Stealers are the only main faction in red, who unfortunately miss out on a win. We do see a reasonable spread of wins despite the low number of tournaments this week. 23 factions manage at least 1 top 10 placing, with the Space Marines getting the most top 10s with 153. The Necrons are in second with 59 top 10 placings, with Chaos Space Marines in third on 52 top 10 placings. Unsurprisingly, the Space Marines are the most played faction with 19.24% of all players taking them. Chaos Space Marines are the second most popular on 7.2%. Necrons are in third on 6.32%. The top 10 suggests that Chaos Space Marines are struggling a little bit, as they got the third most behind the Necrons, despite being the second most popular. It takes our resident stats guru and Ultramarine fanboy Fearless Fox many hours to collect all the data. It would be great if you could show your appreciation by liking and sharing the video. It really helps us with the God algorithm of YouTube. We have grouped the win rates by colour, with the key at the bottom of the screen. This week the Leagues of Votan topped the charts with a win rate of 57.5%, which explains why they got the best weighted placing this week. The Grey Knights are back to their pre-nerf form with a win rate of 56.2%. It'd be interesting to see if they can continue to perform this well. Imperial Knights are very close behind with a win rate of 56.1%, which is a surprisingly high result for them. Chaos Demons are the last faction above the Goldilocks zone, with a win rate of 55.3%, which is a big improvement on the 47.8% they got last week. Drukhari are the first faction within the Goldilocks zone, with a win rate of 54.4%, which is another good result for them. The Custodians run a win rate of 53.3%, which is a big improvement. Perhaps players are coming back to the faction after the rule changes. The Necrons have a win rate of 52.7%, which is slightly better than what they were doing last week. Death Guard get a win rate of 52.6%, despite only getting a single win, with the World Eaters on 51.6%. The Tower on a win rate of 51.2%, with the Thousand Sons just getting in green with a 50.6% win rate. Compared to last week, a lot more factions are in green rather than yellow. A viewer made a suggestion on our last video to change the colour bands so that everything in the Goldilocks zone is green rather than what we currently do. What do viewers think of this? I would like to hear your feedback in the comments. With that said, the Admech topped the yellow group with a win rate of 49.4%, which is an improvement for them. The Tyranids are on 48.9%, with the Sisters on 48.6%. The Orcs have a win rate of 47.8%, which is a far cry from what we were getting before the balance change. Eldari ran a win rate of 47.7%, with Chaos Knight on 47.2%. Guard are the last faction in the Goldilocks zone, with a win rate of 45.9%. The Space Marines just miss out on 44.5%, with their traitorous counterparts still suffering on 41.8%. The Gene Stealers are the only full faction in red, with a win rate of 37.7%, which isn't great for the new book. Overall, the factions have changed considerably, which suggests that players are still adapting to the new rules. With such big changes, it really isn't surprising that we are still seeing a lot of movement between the factions. We only have 2 weeks of data, but so far the Drukhari are in the lead with 56.7%. The Thousand Sons are the only other faction above the Goldilocks zone, with a 55.7% win rate. Imperial Knights are the first faction within the Goldilocks zone with a win rate of 52.6%. The Grey Knights are close behind on a win rate of 52.1%. The Legions of Votan have climbed the rankings after their good week. They now have a win rate of 51.8%. The World Eaters have a win rate of 50.9%, with Death Guard and Chaos Demons on 50.8%. Necrons and Tau are the last faction in green, with a win rate of 50.1%. We do see a lot of factions in yellow, with only Chaos Space Marines below the Goldilocks zone on a win rate of 43.8%. We are likely to see a fair bit of movement on the running total win rate, considering how the weekly win rates have changed this time out. This week, the Space Wolves topped the charts with a win rate of 60.3%. Taken as their own faction, this is the best win rate this week. They have shown no signs of slowing down after their small nerf. The Blood Angels are the only faction in green, with a win rate of 53.8%. The Black Templars are the last chapter in the Goldilocks zone, with a win rate of 47.1%. The Dark Angels are still struggling despite their buffs, on 43.5%, with the Unknown chapters performing poorly on 34%. The Death Watch are at the bottom, winning a third of their games. Again, we don't see a huge number of chapters represented, but the Space Wolves and Blood Angels are clearly a cut above the rest at the moment. The Space Marine running total win rate actually look very similar to the weekly win rate, specifically as we do not have a huge variety of chapters declared since the update. All of the divergent chapters are represented, with the Space Wolves and Blood Angels doing well in the first 2 weeks of data. As with the Space Marine chapters, there are not a lot of declared warbands. On the running total, Index Emperor's Children has a win rate of 48.6%, but with only 11 players. The Unknown warbands sum up Chaos Space Marine's position, with a win rate of 43.8%. If you enjoyed our content, please subscribe, check out one of the videos on screen, and consider using our affiliate links in the description. Thank you for watching.